Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. And today we are going to talk about some of the most shocking tax fraud cases in history. That's right. Now, if you're kind of vaguely familiar with what tax fraud is, the IRS defines tax fraud as an individual or business willfully and intentionally falsifying information on a tax return to limit the amount they owe. So basically, it just means that you're trying to get out of your tax bill by being dishonest and lying. And so think of, claiming false deductions, claiming personal expenses as business expenses, using a false social security number, or not reporting income and simply avoiding the payment altogether, which would not be good. So let's take a peek into some of the noteworthy cases of tax fraud in recent years and what we can learn from them. And I will say, just as a Rachel commentary before we get into this list, that I do want to believe that people are good-hearted. Now, some of the people on this list may have intentionally done this, but also I think that there are celebrities and people out there that hand their finances over to someone else, and those people over there are supposed to handle it, and those people over there don't, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I didn't know. So again, here's the list of the cases factually, but Rachel likes to believe everyone has a really good heart and no one meant to do this. But some of them probably did, let's be honest. Okay, so first up, we got Richard Hatch, the winner of the very first season of Survivor. So I covered old Richard on a recent episode of Smart Money Happy Hour because it was all about reality TV. And you guys, this one's interesting, okay? He was the very first winner of Survivor. And if you remember Survivor, this was the first big reality game show kind of thing. I remember watching this whole season because Tina, who was the winner or the runner-up, was from Knoxville, Tennessee. We were all cheering for Tina. But Richard won, and he won $1 million, but old Richard failed to pay his taxes on his $1 million prize. So he went from ultimate survivor to federal convict, serving prison time and owing $300,000 in taxes. Oh. Richard, come on. We got to do better. Hopefully he has done better since then. It's been decades, but it's tough. All right, next up, Lil Wayne, the Grammy Award-winning rapper, has actually had numerous tax liens against him for more than $12 million. But this is a great story because it ends well. And in 2019, Lil Wayne finally settled all of his outstanding tax debt. So great. So great. So yeah, the IRS can come on and put a lien on your assets, like a lien on your house and all that, to make sure that they get paid because the IRS will come after you if you don't pay them, as Lil Wayne experienced. And while we're talking about the musical artists that have shaped pop culture, there's a couple more that have unfortunately not been great at paying taxes. So Nelly, it's getting hot in her. Oh, Nelly. In 2016, the IRS put a tax lien on Nelly because he owed $2.4 million of back taxes from 2013. And more recently, our girl Shakira was accused from the Spanish government of not paying her income taxes between 2012 and 2014, owing the government 14 million euros. And the jury is still out on her case, but if convicted, she could face up to 8 years in prison. And when I hear Shakira, I just have to believe, someone's supposed to be doing her taxes. I believe Shakira would have paid her taxes. I just believe that deep in my heart. I'm still a fan, Shakira. Still a fan. All right, another fan favorite of guilty tax fraud is Nicolas Cage. So the IRS charged Nicolas Cage for more than $14 million of unpaid taxes, which Cage attributed to his management team. See, you guys, and then he ended up suing his money manager. See, Cage, you didn't know. That's the issue, though. You can't just give your money and assume people are taking care of it. You have to be on top of it, you guys. Nicolas Cage and you, all of us together, we have to be on top of it. But in 2012, Cage paid off the balance of his tax bill. So don't worry, you guys. He is still a national treasure. But I will give him kudos, though. He worked really hard to pay that off. We were just talking before this episode started filming to go and look up all the Nick Cage movies, and he did a bunch. Random ones to pay off his debt. So hard work. I applaud that. And lastly, we've got to end with the couple that has been in the spotlight most recently for tax evasion, and that is Todd and Julie Chrisley. So they were indicted on 12 counts of tax evasion, bank and wire fraud, and conspiracy in 2019. And Todd Chrisley actually ended up receiving a 12-year sentence, and his wife was sentenced to 7 years. So, it's so sad, not good. But man, the IRS, you guys, we gotta stay on top of it. I think that is the key to all of this. So if you want to avoid the mess that some of these people have been in, well, you need to be very aware of what's going on. But what's interesting is, according to the IRS, individual taxpayers do 75% of the cheating that happens, and it's mostly middle income earners. It's not always the wealthy, the famous, the celebrities. And you can probably guess that cash-intensive businesses and service industry workers are some of the worst offenders because it is so easy for them to underreport their income. And in fact, the IRS claims that waiters and waitresses underreport their cash tips by over 80%. So you want to make sure that you accurately report your income, which involves keeping track of it all year. And if you're self-employed and you're a taxpayer doing that, then make sure to steer clear of any phony business-related deductions, because you can be caught. And if you are caught, you can get hit with a 75% civil fine, or worse, a criminal investigation. Not good, you guys. This is big stuff, but I don't want you to freak out, because the IRS, they know that taxes are complicated, and more than likely you're going to make a mistake. And some of those mistakes, if they find them, they waive them, but some might earn you a smaller 20% penalty. So you want to make sure that your taxes are done right. And again, having people to help you is really important, but unlike possibly some of the people on this list, you can't just hand your money over blindly and expect someone to do it. Like, you need to be in, watching, learning, and knowing what's going on. So I would recommend Ramsey Smart Tax for people who have simple returns. Make sure to check that out. But if you have a more complicated tax situation, then hire someone. We have endorsed local providers for people all over the country that can sit down and help you with your taxes. So click the link in the description to learn more. Now, I know taxes can feel very intimidating, but trust me, with the right help, you can do this. You've got this. Oh man, taxes though, the IRS, it's rough sometimes. It is rough. So make sure to share this video with a friend who maybe has been talking about their taxes. And remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love.